Hello, everyone. Welcome to our St. Kilian Media Center. This morning, we are extremely happy to have with us Father Tuan, our parochial vicar, our beloved priest at St. Kilian Church, and he's going to share with us some of his experiences that he has had during these days. So I'll be kind of interviewing him, asking him a few questions where he can share his experiences with us. So Father Tuan, welcome to our media center and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me here.
Very good. Without wasting much time, let's go to these questions. Father Tuan, this year's Holy Week and Easter was very different for all of us. This is the first time in life we had such a different celebration, a unique experience. How was your experience of the Holy Weekend and Easter? Would you like to share those experiences with our parishioners and those who are watching us?
It was a very mixed experience of sadness and comfort. Talk about sadness because I saw the empty church, the empty congregation, the empty celebration of things. Normally we have a full church, a packed church to celebrate it. So it's sad that I couldn't see the people here come here together and we gather together to celebrate the Holy Week, the Holy Triduum and Easter together. But also at the same time it's an experience of comfort because I know God is still here with us. He's still doing things for all of us. He established the Eucharist to feed us. He went over the Good Friday to sacrifice for us. The Easter Vigil and Easter Sunday, He rose again to redeem. He conquered death to redeem all of us. So I know that even though we don't have the people here at celebration at the Holy Triduum and Easter, we still know that God is still doing His things to save all of us, to give us life once again, to defeat the devil and sins and conquer over the world. So it is a mixed feeling of sadness of not seeing all the people here. I love to see all of you, but at the same time, I took it as a comfort because I know God is with us. God is with me. In all these celebrations, is the same event, the event of salvation Christ has done for us.
Thank you for sharing that experience with us. I know many of you send us emails and messages telling us how different the Holy Week and Easter was for you all. For some of you, it was a very unique experience. For all of us, it was a unique experience, but some of you felt having the celebration at home with your own family was definitely a special blessing. And we thank you for sharing those blessings and those experiences with us. Now, many of you weren't aware, Father Tuan wasn't feeling well for a few days, so he was under the weather. So you self-quarantined yourself for 2 weeks. And that's the experience for a lot of our parishioners and people these days. So how was your experience of isolating yourself for 2 weeks in your room?
Well, at the time I felt like not feeling well. At the same time when the state ordered the shelter in the place, the stay at home. So it's on March 17 or 18, something like that. I didn't feeling well, so I took it as a precaution. So I isolated myself in my room for 2 weeks to make sure that I don't have anything and I don't expose myself to others people. So it wasn't bad feeling. It wasn't bad experience at that time. Maybe even good experience as well. I took it as a 2 weeks of vacation. I didn't have to go to work, and Father Angels took all these work together. So for 2 weeks. So for the first day I wasn't feeling well, but the next day I feeling better and doing things at home and in my room. I read more, I pray more, I do all kind of things together and answer some emails and doing something in my room. I wasn't like too sick to like not doing anything, but I just isolated myself in a room. And Father Angels is so kind to me. He served me dinner. Sometimes I just call, Father Angels, I need dinner, and he served me. Wow, how wonderful a pastor serving you food. That's a wonderful experience. And also one thing is a highlight. It was a highlight for my time in 2 weeks in my room. It was Eucharist. I celebrated Holy Mass, Holy Sacrifice of the Mass every single day. Every single day I celebrated the Holy Mass and remember all of you in my Mass intentions. And that's the highlight, because even though I isolated myself in a room, but I still a priest. I still doing mass, and then on behalf of the whole people, the whole church, I offer the sacrifice of Christ Himself to the Lord the Father, and ask the Lord to give us a blessing. So I remember all of you in my mass. So remember that for 2 weeks in my room I did the mass. I have a travel mass kit, so I do mass at my room and dress up, and not like pajama, but I dress up as a priest, as on the altar, I did the mass for all of you, and then remember all intentions happened in that day. So it was very comforting that the Lord is always with me to the sacrifice, and He appointed me as a priest to offer the sacrifices, even though I could not come to the church to do it, but I still did it in my room and offer the sacrifice of the Holy Mass to all people.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. These are definitely hard and difficult days for everyone, and these are tough times for many of our parishioners as well. But in the midst of all these struggles and hardships that we see, do you see some blessings that's happening, blessings that we receive in these days?
Definitely, we see blessings in many ways, but I can tell you 3 blessings I have seen it. First, the blessing is I have more time. Before all these things happened, I was kind of busy with all works at the office, and then counseling for the couples, and all the paperwork and all kind of things like that, visiting a sick and saying mass, more on the funerals and everything. But now when things slowing down, kind of pause, we have more time to spend. I have more time to spend with the Lord in prayer, and truly settle myself to pray, and pray completely the morning prayer, evening prayer, and rosaries, all things like that. So the first blessing is time with God. I had more time than ever to spend time with God. The second one I can see in the family is right now you can't go anywhere, so you stay home with each other, and then you spend some time with each other to nourish and foster love from each other, and then to get understand to each other more deeply, and to spend time to teach your children and husband and wife, and to have more time with the family. This family bond is become stronger. That's the second blessing, the time with one. Now, third blessing, I can see it, a lot of people reaching out to one another. Before, they may forget, they're so busy, they couldn't make a phone call, but now a lot of people text each other and call each other, and then reaching out each other to the social media. I have seen a lot of in the search on using the social media. So that's the 3 blessings I can tell you. That time with the Lord, time with one another, and reaching out to each other to different means of communication.
Thank you, Father, for sharing those blessings with us, with our parishioners and those who are watching us. Of course, there are many, many other blessings that you can think of. And when we focus on the blessings that God is giving us, we are filled with greater peace and joy. But if we focus on what we do not have, then we end up in depression and loneliness. So please remember to focus on what God is giving us these days, His blessings, His presence and love that will fill our hearts with greater joy and peace. And, these are different days for us. And we are exploring new and creative ways of reaching out to our parishioners. And we've been able to do that through social media, through our website, and even by making direct phone calls to our parishioners. We have been able to make close to 5,000 phone calls to our parishioners. We are still making phone calls, so a different way of reaching out to our parishioners. So how has your experience, Father Tuan, of reaching out to our parishioners through these means?
It's very comforting, because when I call the people, they're so grateful that I call them, reaching out to them. They might feel loneliness or maybe scared, but when the priests are reaching out to them, it's definitely a blessing, a comforting, and they thank all of us as staff and also clergy to reaching out to them. And also I received many reaching back too. I never expected, I didn't know those people, and now I know. They send me an emails and asking how I'm doing and things like that. Many emails and then different ways reaching back to me, and then to see the reality of all the people. It's so comforting that we not separated. we definitely we still connected. We still within the each other. Even though the physical separation is there, but the spiritual and the emotional connection is still is with us. So it's a comforting experience that I have more time to reach out to people I never know. Maybe I saw at Mass, I did not know their name, but now to the emails and then to the phone calls, very good experience to talk to the people like one by one like that. It's a good experience for all of us. We should do it for ourselves and do all the parishioners together.
Well, thank you, Father Tuan. I have many more questions to ask you, but I want to keep this first interview shorter. I think we have already exceeded 10 minutes, I believe. So I don't want to take more time with you. Definitely at some other time, I will ask you more questions so you can share more of your experiences with our parishioners. I'm sure you love hearing from Father Tuan, hearing from us. And as much as you love hearing from us, we love hearing from you as well. So we know that we are together on this journey, that we are a people of faith, we are St. Kilian parishioners, we are people of faith. So let's stay connected that way in our prayers and in our love for one another. And once more, thank you for joining us and watching our programs every day. Wanted to give a different experience today. Hope you enjoy this. And God bless you. Continue to have a wonderful day.
Okay, God bless all of you. Stay healthy and stay safe at home. God
Thank
bless
you.